Hello again, everybody. Lance Russell and Dave Brown right along ringside, all ready to go with another big week championship wrestling. Dave, you love it.
Oh, championships right this week. I want to tell you, opening match of the day is not going to be a very bad one at all, because we're going to be looking at Rick Morton in here. Rick Morton, one of the favorites of the fans in the area. He'll be going against David Oswald. Superstar Bill Dundee will be along in a single match. He'll be going against Dennis Upton. And then, a little bit later, the Southern Tag Team titles will be on the line. Championship match. It's going to be an expiration of time match. The 60-minute time limit has been waived for this TV match. Paul Ellering, Ali Hassan defending the titles against handsome Jimmy Valiant and Ken Lucas.
Ooh, yeah, man, and it's all going to happen here. The situation on the waiver, of course, is that if both teams, normally it's a one-fall 60, if both teams waive the time on it, of course, Valiant and Kenny Lucas were anxious enough to want to get Ellering and Hassan in there, and Hassan and Ellering figured it's to their benefit anyhow, so they've waived it, and we've got an expiration of time. So it could be a long one, could be a short one, could be a Southern Tag Team Championship match coming up a little bit later. Why don't we get it underway, and we'll be back with more action coming up in the ring right after we take time out for this. We're going to open it up, Davey, with a traveling camera of the Jarrett Welch Company that caught some tag action. It was something else. I think everybody's going to enjoy seeing the Blonde Bombers, Wayne Ferris and Larry Latham, going against Rick and Robert Gibson. Let's take a look at the action as it happened in the Mid-South Coliseum in Memphis, Tennessee. 9-minute mark in a one-fall 30-minute time limit bout. The Bombers exchanging at the 9-minute mark, and Larry Latham takes over. Championship Wrestling, Lance Russell at ringside. Mid-South Coliseum, Memphis, Tennessee. Robert, big backdrop from Larry Latham, count of one. Whoop. Robert stretches out those long legs and kicks himself right out of it. Another whip. Wayne Ferris meets him with a fist or forearm. I couldn't really see. Reverse face lock from Ferris on Robert Gibson. As the 10-minute call, Robert Gibson being held by Wayne Ferris on the mat. Rick a long way away from Brother Robert. Ferris a lot closer to his partner, Larry Latham. Robert! And there's the tag. Latham comes in, catches Robert from behind. And Latham powerhousing with that right hand. And Robert fires a right back. Ooh. Rick Gibson, after Ferris double-handed Robert, Rick came across the ring and knocked Ferris down. Double. Rick Gibson on the ropes. He's going to come off, I believe. Yeah, he did. Out of the ring. Well, Larry Latham over Robert Gibson. Whammo! Gibson's head right into Ferris's foot. The referee trying to count Latham out of there. He leaves and Ferris takes over. Ferris looking heavier than the last time we saw him. Backdrop, and Robert down hard. 12 minutes passed as Robert Gibson kicks his way out, but Rick made Wayne Ferris pay for it. and then quickly jumped back out of the ring. Robert slammed into the knee of Larry Latham. Woo! Latham with a right hand. Yeah, what about the fist, Danny? Count of one. Robert right in between the two, and here comes Rick. Ferris nailed him, beat him to the punch. Danny Davis up on the ropes with that helmet off. Robert jumps out of the way while the referee is over in between Rick and Wayne Ferris. A drop kick by Rick Gibson. Davis right out on the floor. And the winners in 13 minutes, 2 seconds will be the Gibsons, as Robert. We were watching the action over here, and Robert got a pin. That's what you call outsmarting yourself in there. We won't make any more editorial comments on it. You saw exactly what happened. Tough team, the Gibsons, Rick and Robert, but the Blonde Bombers are back. No doubt about it. We'll probably be seeing them a little bit later on, and we're going to be back with more wrestling action coming up for you. We'll have the Superstar and Rick Morton coming in here before long. Alrighty, we're going to be back to Wave Country Championship Wrestling in just a moment. Hey, you folks around Madisonville, Saturday, April 5th. You better believe some big action coming up that way when Jared Welch comes down there, and you'll want to see the tremendous card that's going to be there. Now, Louisville, coming up Tuesday night right there in the Louisville Gardens. Listen to this one. It's going to be a dandy in that final match when a return of that 6-man tag match. Now, I got to say this. The match is going to be Handsome Jimmy, Billy Robinson, Ken Lucas against Paul Ellering, Jimmy Hart, and Ali Hussein. You are going to see a little bit later on the show that you're watching today. When we taped this thing yesterday, you'll see an incident in there that accounts for the fact that Handsome Jimmy is not with us today, as a matter of fact, Ken.
Well, Lance, let me put it this way to you. Jimmy's had his eyes injured a little bit. He's a little bit under the weather, but he's going to be in that match. And I want to say one thing for sure. You know, when you go out there and try to put permanent damage on somebody and take their career away from them, it's got where it's very, very serious. And I'm going to say this, that there's going to be 3 of us men going against 3 of their men, and it's no disqualification, no time limit.
Right.
And let me say one thing to you. We're going to get in there and pay some dues, and if we've got to hurt somebody, we're going to do it.
Well, I guarantee you that that's the attitude to go
This is
with.
a 2 out of 3 fall match. This is a wrestler's match.
Now, you've seen what they did to me before. And there's no way they can get away with it again. Because I'll have time to recover should anything happen. But Lance, I promise you, I've never let you people down before. I don't intend to start letting you down now. We're going to go into that ring, and the biggest fight is between Jimmy Valiant, Kenny Lucas, and myself. Who can get in the ring first to get our hands on them?
Well, after some of the stunts that have been pulled, of course, Billy very familiar with that fire stunt by Hassan. And, of course, as you are going to see a little bit later, Jimmy Hart's action on Handsome Jimmy. That'll be something. That 6-man match Tuesday.
Tag team title match coming up a little bit later. Right now, David Oswald making his way to the ring. This is going to be a single match. Rick Gibson will be his opponent. Not Rick Gibson, Rick Morton will be his opponent. Here is Rick coming in right now. David Oswald, you see, climbing through the ropes. And there he is, Rick, officially with the introductions from Jonesboro, Arkansas, 222 pounds. David Oswald on the left of your screen, and on the right of your screen at 193 pounds from Nashville, Tennessee, Rick Morton. This will be a 1-fall, 10-minute time limit match. Referee Paul Morton.
Okay, Dave, this ought to be a dandy because here are 2 young, very aggressive ones. Oswald, who is very, very new in the action in the ring, boy, is making himself known. He has got some of the same. Look at that. Get Rick Morton going there. I'll turn it over to you. I get excited about it.
You did the same thing. I introduced him as Rick Gibson as he was coming through the door there. It's Rick Morton, as I'm sure most of you know. David Oswald going against him. Battling each other back near the ropes. Not on the ropes, though, so no break called. Rick Morton. Oh, took Oswald down. Oswald with a good counter. He went for the head scissors. Didn't get it. Rick got to his feet quickly. Leg dive by Rick Morton. Morton around behind. Gets him off his feet. Oswald on the mat. Looking for a way out of the hole. Both of them back on their feet, center of the ring.